It's a little after 3 in the morning. The house is dark, the clock glows faint across the room, and you're wide awake, staring at the ceiling. Not because of anything big, because of one small thing you said yesterday. Maybe it was a joke that landed wrong, a name you forgot, the way your voice cracked in that meeting. Nothing anyone else remembers, but there's a voice in your head, and it remembers everything. And listen to how it talks to you. Flat. Certain. Not a shout, just a quiet running commentary. Of course you said that. You always do. What is wrong with you? As if it were simply reading out the facts. You've lived with that voice so long you don't even hear it as a voice anymore. It just sounds like the truth. Like you, being honest with yourself. And for a long time I thought that was just how it goes. It isn't. That voice was not born with you, and it does not have to keep the job. But before we can quiet it, we have to catch it in the act. So stay with me here at 3 in the morning. That voice at 3 a.m. would never survive being said out loud to another person. So let's try something. Picture the friend you've had the longest sitting across from you, about to tell you something hard. She tells you the exact thing you flogged yourself for last night, the dumb thing you said in the meeting, the call you forgot to return, the pounds that crept back on. She looks down at her hands, waiting for you to answer. And you know exactly what you'd do. You'd lean in. You'd say, "Oh, honey, that's nothing." Everyone forgets. You're too hard on yourself. You would reach across that table before she even finished the sentence. You wouldn't call her pathetic. You wouldn't replay her mistake back at her at midnight to keep her humble. It would never even occur to you. With her, gentleness is just automatic. It's who you are. So here's the whole thing, the entire subject of this talk. You are carrying two completely different people inside you. There's the one who comforts your friends, and there's the one who narrates your failures, and they sound nothing alike. The astonishing part isn't that the harsh voice is cruel. It's that you already own the kind one. You've been fluent in it for decades. You just never once turned it around and aimed it at yourself. So where did you learn to talk like that? Because you weren't born narrating your own failures in that flat, unimpressed tone. Somebody taught you that voice, and you probably remember exactly whose it was. For a lot of us, it was a parent, not a monster, just a tired one who thought pointing out the flaw was the same as loving you enough to fix it. You still hear that clipped little sigh when you drop something. For others, it was a coach, red-faced on a sideline, sure that the way to make a kid faster was to tell him he was slow and soft and never going to amount to much. And here's the thing, some of us ran faster. That's the trap. It wasn't just the people. It was the whole air we grew up breathing, an era that mistook contempt for motivation. Rub some dirt on it. Nobody cares how you feel. Winners don't complain. We soaked it in like it was wisdom. Look, most of them meant well. That parent, that coach, they were handed the same voice by someone before them, and they passed it down like an old coat that never quite fit anyone. You just happened to be the one wearing it now. So the voice at 3 in the morning isn't really yours. It's a hand-me-down, which means it can be handed back. But first, you have to see through the biggest thing it ever told you, that it's the reason you got anywhere at all. So the voice grew up believing it was doing you a favor. It swore that if it ever went easy on you, you'd go soft, fall apart, let everything slide. It called itself your standards. And you half believed it. You figured the harshness was the price of staying sharp, that the day you spoke kindly to yourself was the day you stopped trying. So you kept the whip handy, just in case. But run the tape. Did the beating actually make you better? Think of the last real thing you got wrong. Did an hour of calling yourself an idiot fix it? Or did you just lie there, exhausted, no closer to the answer. Here's the part nobody warns you about. Contempt doesn't sharpen you. It shrinks you. It makes the mistake feel so huge you'd rather not look at it at all. So you avoid the thing. You put off the hard call. Cruelty is a lousy motivator. There's an old proof of this you've watched your whole life. The manager who screamed never got the best work out of anyone. He got flinching. He got people hiding their errors till they grew teeth. Fear is loud, but it's a terrible teacher. The truth is quieter than the voice wants you to think. The times you actually changed something, lost the weight, mended the fence, finished the work, you weren't running from a whip. You were steady, calm enough to try again tomorrow. That, it turns out, is what keeps you sharp. So if beating yourself up doesn't sharpen you, what does? For a long time, nobody really asked. Then a psychologist named Kristin Neff, who coined the whole idea of self-compassion, decided to actually measure it. Here's the part that surprised even her. You'd think the kind ones would go soft, coast, let themselves off the hook. That was the fear the whole time, wasn't it? That gentleness makes you lazy. The opposite happened. The people who spoke to themselves kindly after a failure tried again sooner. They studied harder after a bad grade. They quit less, not more, less. It makes sense once you see it. When the voice is cruel, part of you just wants the failure to disappear, to look away. But a kind voice can actually look straight at the mess without flinching. Think of the last time someone was patient with you instead of harsh. Didn't you want to do better for them? Not out of fear, out of something warmer than that. Neff found we do the same for ourselves. So the thing you feared would ruin you turns out to be the thing that keeps you in the game. The kindness isn't the reward for getting it right. It's how you get up the next morning and try at all. So kindness makes you try harder. That part lives in your head. But there is a whole other bill for the cruelty, and it does not get paid in your head. It gets paid in your body. You know the clenched jaw. You catch it at a red light, teeth pressed together for no reason, the shoulders climbing toward your ears. Somewhere in the day, that flat voice said something ugly, and your body heard it too. And then there is two-way. M, wide awake, running the same replay we talked about. Only now you notice the heart going a little fast, the sheets too warm. The mind attacks, and the body cannot lie back down. Here is the part that stings, and it is almost funny. You will treat a stranger's cold with more mercy than you treat yourself. Rest, fluids, be gentle. But your own tired body? That one just needs to toughen up. At this age, that tax adds up. The doctor's waiting room is fuller than it used to be, and the harsh voice does not keep you sharp there. It just quietly wears down the one body you were given, from the inside. That same running commentary follows you right up to the bathroom mirror in the morning. You lean in close under that hard light, and before you've even said good morning to yourself, the voice starts its inventory. The line at the jaw that wasn't there, the gray coming in faster than you can cover it, the soft place at the middle. You catalog it all, coldly, like a stranger you've decided not to like. Now hear it out loud. Every word you just said to that face, say it to your closest friend about hers. You look tired. You've really let yourself go. What happened to you? You'd never. You couldn't. And here's the small mercy hiding in that. When a friend catches her reflection and winces, you don't reach for the flaws. You see the whole face, the eyes that still light up at your dumb jokes. That face in the mirror has carried you through every year that etched it. It laughed at weddings, cried at funerals, stayed up with sick kids. It didn't fail you, it kept the record. The least you owe it is the tone you'd give a friend. But the mirror is not the only place that voice runs its commentary. It follows you into the quiet rooms of your own history. And there, it does something worse than nitpick a face. It reads a verdict. You know the regrets, the job you turned down, the city you never moved to, the version of the marriage you meant to build before it went quiet somewhere around the kids and the mortgage and the years. Now here is the thing a friend would tell you. Every one of those is a chapter, a choice you made with the information you had in the life you were actually living. Not a crime, a chapter. But that voice doesn't read chapters. It reads sentences. Life sentences. You didn't just choose wrong once. You are, in its telling, the kind of person who always chooses wrong. And that never happened. It just decided it did. And the loop is what does the damage. You replay the marriage going quiet, and the voice adds the ending you already believe. Same footage, every night, with the cruelest narration you own. No wonder you're tired. But a chapter, even a sad one, has a page after it. A sentence handed down does not. So the real question isn't whether you regret it. It's who gets to decide what the regret means. And so far, you've let the wrong voice speak. It isn't only the marriage or the road not taken you turn that cold eye on, but watch yourself with your grown kid on the phone, and you'll notice something. The voice changes completely. Your son calls, wrecked over a job he lost. You don't tell him he's a failure. You say it happens to everyone. You'll land on your feet. You listen. You go soft in a way you'd never let yourself be. And your mother, forgetting where she left her glasses again, apologizing for it, you don't sigh at her. You slow down. You say, "It's fine, Mom, take your time." You handle her like something precious, because she is. So the gentle voice isn't gone. It never left. You've been carrying it around this whole time, ready in a heartbeat for anyone who needs it. Anyone, except the one person living inside your own skin. Here's what stopped me cold. If you spoke to your daughter the way you speak to yourself at 3 in the morning, she'd stop calling. She'd flinch. You'd never dream of it. You know exactly how much it would cost her. You already know the words that heal, because you hand them out every day to the people you love most. You are fluent in kindness. You just decided somewhere along the way that you were the one person who didn't qualify for it. You already know how to soften your voice. You do it every time you pick up the phone for a grown kid who called sounding tired. The strange part is how fast the softness disappears the second the audience is only you. So here is the first thing that actually worked for me. Not fixing the voice, just catching it. Hearing it mid-sentence, the way you'd hear a radio playing in the other room you forgot was on. It ran on autopilot for so long I never questioned it. You forget one name at the reunion, and the voice is already halfway through its speech about how you're losing it. Fast, fluent, rehearsed. It doesn't wait for permission. The trick is to name it out loud, even quietly. There it goes again. That's the voice talking. 4 words, and something breaks. Not the whole habit, just the spell. The autopilot clicks off for a second. That gap is the whole thing, a half second, where you're no longer the words. You're the person hearing them, and a person can decide whether to keep listening or set the thing down. You won't catch it every time. I still miss it more than I catch it, some weeks. But you don't need to win. You just need that one small pause where the cruelty was automatic. And now, for a breath, it isn't. So you catch it. You hear the voice start up. And then you're standing there in that little pause, and you realize noticing isn't enough. You need something to say instead. That's the part that took me years. The first thing that actually helped was strange. I started using my own name. Not "you idiot," not "why did I do that?" Just, "All right, Tom, you made a mess of that call. It's okay. We'll fix it." Your name softens the whole thing. There's real reason it works. Speaking to yourself by name creates a little distance, like you're advising someone you care about. The scientists call it self-distancing. You already do it for everyone else in your life. Now you're just included on the list. The second line I keep coming back to is even simpler. This is hard right now. That's it. Not, this is hard because you're weak. Not everyone else manages fine. Just, this is genuinely hard, and it makes sense that it hurts. You'd be amazed what that one sentence does. The harsh voice wants to argue about whether you deserve to struggle. This is hard right now skips the whole trial. It just tells the truth of the moment. Your shoulders come down about an inch. And when I'm truly stuck, I ask one blunt question. What would I say to a friend sitting right here saying this exact thing? The answer arrives instantly. It always does. You have that gentle sentence ready in half a second for anyone but yourself. So I say that sentence to myself, out loud sometimes, in the car, feeling a little foolish. It's not magic. The old voice still shows up, but now it has company, a second voice that talks the way a decent friend would. And that changes everything. Now there's a fear that stops a lot of people right at the door. You hear all this about being gentler with yourself, and something in you tightens, because you think kindness means letting yourself off the hook. And it's a fair worry. You've known people who forgave themselves for everything and learned nothing, who called it self-love while they kept skipping the doctor, kept snapping at their spouse, kept promising to change tomorrow. But go back to that friend, the real one, the good one. When you finally admit the thing you've been avoiding, does she say, "Oh, don't worry about it, you're perfect"? No. A real friend never does that. A real friend tells you the truth. She says, "You know that's not working, right?" She says, "You've done this before." She says, "I love you, and you have to call the doctor." The truth, without the contempt. That's the whole difference, and it's not subtle. Contempt says, "You're a mess, you always were." Compassion says, "This is hard, and you still have to do the hard thing." One of those makes you want to hide. The other gets you moving. So kindness isn't the couch. It's the friend who drives you to the appointment you kept dodging. It holds you to the thing precisely because it isn't disgusted with you. That's the version of yourself worth becoming. A good friend tells you the truth without contempt. And here is the thing I finally understand about that friend. You already have one. You have had one the whole way. It's you. Think of every room you have ever stood in. Every 3 a.m. Every quiet win nobody clapped for. There was one witness to all of it, start to finish. Not your spouse, not your kids. You. That's a strange kind of loyalty. When you look at it, whoever else came and went, you stayed. You never once left yourself alone. And you spent a lot of those years being cruel to the only person who never walked out. Here is what I know now. The rest of the road is shorter than it was, and I'd rather walk it beside someone kind. So I decided to be that, not perfect company, just good company. It turns out that was always allowed. If any of this resonated, tell me in the comments which part hit home, or what you'd add from your own life. And if you'd like to keep thinking these things through together, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.